Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, friends. Today we are going to talk about a 2018 released Hollywood psychological thriller named The Rang Daughter. This story starts by showing a roadside pet motel where a young couple was spending some quality time. Actually, this was not a couple because they had met just a few hours ago. Maybe that's why the boy was not much interested. After all, he had got what he wanted. On the other hand, the girl, who was Saman, had become very attached to that boy and was behaving as if both of them were in a serious relationship. Actually, she had fallen for the innocent talk of that boy. When Saman had said that he loves her, she believed him. She could not understand his real intention. But now, when the boy had lost interest, he tells Samantha to go home. It was right on her face. She does not digest this insult easily. Suddenly, she becomes very aggressive and hits the boy on the forehead with a guitar. Then, as soon as he falls unconscious, Samantha runs away from there and hides in a shelter home called Safe Harbor. This is her home. She is actually an orphan. She has changed foster homes 1,000 times since childhood and finally got shelter here, but she might not be able to stay here for long. She is fed up with her rebellious nature and rudeness. Everyone does not follow any rules. She stays out till late at night. Sometimes she does not even return the whole night. Like last night, she does not even return from the front door due to the fear that someone might see her from above. In the morning, she secretly enters her room through the window. This causes a lot of trouble to Danica in her room. Firstly, she has to lie to the head of the shelter, Mrs. Hansen, to explain herself. On top of that, she also has to take her A. But even after doing so much, she could never win Samantha's heart. I don't know that Samantha was very jealous of her. Everyone liked Danica, so in return, Danica also behaved well with everyone. She never used to be naughty. She never had any useless tantrums. This is the thing Samantha never understood, that to get something, you have to give something too. Everything cannot be achieved by force. She thought that, like always, today also, she will be able to escape from the eyes of Mrs. Hansen. But this does not happen. Today, Mrs. Hansen comes at the right time and catches her red-handed and throws her out of the shelter as a punishment. Actually, she had doubted Samantha many times before also, but she thought that where will the poor girl go? She is no one in this world. Thinking all this, she kept on talking about it. But today, she crossed all limits. If this continues, then the other girls of the shelter will also start getting spoiled like this. In such a situation, she had to take some steps, and anyway, Samantha is already 18 years old, so legally, she is not eligible to stay in this shelter. That is why Mrs. Hansen gives her some money to start her new life and says goodbye. She was feeling very bad, but she also has no other option. Samantha's rudeness was increasing day by day. On the other hand, Samantha could not understand her mistake this time too. On the contrary, this time too, she felt that something wrong was happening to her and she was the victim. First, she shouts a lot at Mrs. Hansen and shows anger. Then, when she understands that this will not work, she destroys the whole room and leaves from there. While leaving, she also steals Danica's laptop. At the same time, in another city, we see the couple Kate and Joseph. They were planning a baby while consulting their doctor, but unfortunately, it was not happening. Kate was tired of hearing no from her doctor again and again. So finally, when the report came negative this time too, she decided that enough is enough. She will not plan anything forcefully. Joseph also supported her, but deep inside, she knew how desperate Kate was to become a mother. Adoption was never in her list. She wanted her own biological child. So in such a situation, Joseph takes a very unexpected step. That too, without telling Kate. He knew that Kate had conceived once when she was just 17 years old, and she had given that child for adoption. Her name was Danica. Joseph finds that same Danica on social media and finds out that the poor girl still lives in a shelter home. Her hometown and surname both matched with Kate's, and this name was also given by Kate, so he becomes kind of sure that this is Danica. Only there was no photo of her in the account, so he did not know how Danica looks now. But thinking that he can take a chance, he convinces Kate to contact Danica. Kate is very hesitant at first, that how will she approach him after so many years? Then, gathering courage, she sends a message on her social account saying that she wants to meet her. He thought that Danica will also get angry and will also say something bad to him, but in response, she gets a very sweet and emotional message in which Danica was equally excited to meet her and was not angry at all, which means she was not as angry as is normal in such situations, because this message was not actually sent by Danica. It was Saman who had stolen Danica's laptop. She had received the message too, after reading which she gets a brilliant idea that why not she she take Danica's place? Anyway, there is no other place to go to her right now, so that is what she does. After talking to Kit, she fixes a meeting the next day and deletes the entire conversation from her account. Danica had followed her and reached the library because she wanted her laptop back. How would she continue her studies without it? And she doesn't have anyone who will get her another laptop. She requests Samantha a lot, but Samantha doesn't listen to her. Instead, she beats her, makes her unconscious, and hides her in the storeroom. The poor girl has to spend the whole night there. The next day, Samantha reaches the address given by Kate, which was basically Kate's restaurant. She goes crazy with happiness after seeing Samantha. She doesn't understand how she should behave in front of her own daughter. Samantha also acts very well to be emotional, but at the same time, she has to be careful about what she says because Danica's past and her past are not the same. Thankfully, she knew everything about Danica, so she very cleverly mixes all the details and prepares a story which Kate easily believes. She believes, in fact, that same night, she invites Samantha to her house to introduce her to Joseph. Joseph also likes Samantha a lot. Why not? After all, she was acting so well to show herself as helpless and unlucky, and to prove this, she takes some liberties as well. Like she says that the head of her last shelter home, Safe Harbor, Mrs. Hansen, was a very ill-mannered woman, and that is why she ran away from there. Now she is in search of a new shelter. She was deliberately showing herself as helpless in front of them because she knew that Kate will definitely give her shelter. Kate does exactly the same. From that very night, Samantha's address becomes their house, and to make this address permanent, Kate also decides to take legal action, even though Joseph was not ready for this, meaning not so soon. He needed some more time and wanted to know this girl, but Kate does not give him that time and does not want to keep her daughter away from her even for a day. That is why Kate asks Samantha for her shelter home number so that she can talk to Mrs. Hansen. Now, Samantha definitely cannot give her the real number, so she makes a plan. She buys a burner phone and convinces a beggar to become Mrs. Hansen. Kate already knew how rude Mrs. Hansen is, so she does not pay much attention to the overacting of the beggar. The whole matter gets wrapped up very smoothly. And anyway, Kate was busy with the inauguration of her restaurant these days, so Samantha knew that she will not be able to give much time to this right now. She will get time for further planning anyway. She was quite confident about her act and slowly started opening up in her new family. But her problem was that she wanted everything very quickly. There was no such thing as patience in her, especially when she is promised something and she does not get that thing on time. Then she gets upset. This time, also, something similar happens to Kate. She had promised her that she would take her shopping the next day at 4 o'clock. So as soon as 4:06 passed, Samantha started getting angry. She started calling Kate like crazy, and when her phone was switched off, her secretary Melissa received the call but did not let her talk to Kate simply because she was busy. But Samantha could not understand this simple thing. She felt that Melissa was coming between them and trying to distance her from Kate. Now, one reason for this was that Melissa was not just Kate's secretary, she was also her close friend. She was a member of this family. She used to visit this house frequently. Even the garden in the backyard of this house was also made by her. Because of all this, Samantha started feeling kind of jealous. She could not tolerate that someone else got more importance in Kate's life than her. As a result, in her mind, she started considering Melissa as her enemy. She had started following her without any reason and started planning something that would create a misunderstanding between Kate and Melissa. On the other hand, after returning home that night, when Kate goes to apologize to Samantha, Samantha suddenly becomes very aggressive. Kate literally gets scared, and somewhere she also starts feeling that maybe they should have taken some more time. Samantha does not understand as much as she thought earlier. She does not know how she will be able to adjust. Now, Kate also started understanding this thing gradually, that she has messed up. Actually, she is unable to control herself when she gets angry. It seems something happens inside her, but she had understood that doing this will not work here. She has got a family with great difficulty. She has got what was her dream since childhood. A mother, her family, her home may be stolen, but she will not let it go. Samantha decides that from now on, whatever she does, she will do it after a lot of thought so that no one suspects her, and she will also start work from the next day itself. It seems that her first mission was to remove Melissa from Kate's life because she consumes all of Kate's time, and she makes elaborate plans for her. Samantha first goes to their restaurant and gifts a pendant to Kate to show Melissa how strong her bond is with her. She thought Melissa would feel jealous of it, but the pendant does not fit the kit, due to which she herself falls falls in a false position. However, she does not give up and just modifies the plan a little bit and hides the pendant in Melissa's bag so that it looks like she is trying to steal it. This is what happens. Even though Kate does not make any such allegation on her, but Samantha does not back down from insulting her. On top of that, she herself pretends to be upset, due to which Kate has to leave all her work and go home with her so that she feels better. She also promises to take her for a walk. It was a big victory for Samantha at her farmhouse, so she becomes very happy. But the friendship between Melissa and Kate was also very strong and was not going to break so easily, the proof of which Samantha again sees. She meets him once when Melissa comes to their house that night. Kate and she both start talking as if nothing has happened. Seeing this, Samantha gets angry, and to take revenge, she destroys the garden made by Melissa. But she does not know that someone has seen her madness and has recorded it on his phone. It was none other than Melissa's boyfriend, Ivan, who lived in the house right behind Kate's house. Obviously, Ivan knew everything about the scene created regarding the pendant. After that, Samantha's behavior seems very fishy. He goes to Kate's house the next day and sends her comforts, saying that she will tell everything, but she needed some time. Now Ivan could not force her, so he gives her time. On the other hand, the next day, Kate arranges a get-together at her house to introduce Samantha to her neighborhood. Melissa also comes there, seeing whom Samantha feels very strange. She makes a face. It was pretty clear that she didn't like Melissa coming here at all. But why? Melissa can't understand what she did. After all, without any fault, she has already said sorry many times to her. Even she had personally messaged her, but Samantha didn't give any reply to that. And on top of that, today Samantha behaved like this. Finally, when Evan shows her that video, Melissa understands a little bit because Samantha's behavior here is sheer madness. Only a mentally unstable person can do something like this. She should inform Kate. Melissa takes that video from Evan on her phone, but Evan refuses to take any immediate action. He had promised Samantha, so he wanted to give her a chance. He didn't want to spoil his relationship with Kate by doing something big, but at this point, Melissa herself was also very angry, so she confides in Samantha and directly asks her, why is she feeling so jealous? Is she mentally unstable? Now, in response to this, Samantha's outburst clearly pointed out her instability, but they could not do anything just like that. They needed proof of what was hidden in her past, the past which was going to clash with her present very soon. The curtain of similarity was going to be revealed, that too with the help of Melissa. Actually, the message that Melissa had sent to him was sent to the account through which Joseph had found her, which was basically the account of the real Danica. This resulted in the real Danica receiving this message and creating a huge confusion. It is revealed that that day when Samantha had locked Danica in the library, the poor girl had to spend the whole night there. She was freed only after screaming loudly. In such a situation, if she wanted, she could have made a police complaint against Samantha, but she did not do anything. There are already many cases of crimes going on against, so she did not want to create more problems for him. Mrs. Hansen also does not force her, but in return gifts her a laptop, and as soon as Danica logs into her ID, she gets a message from Melissa. Now, since Samantha had deleted all the conversations between her and Kate, Danica could not understand anything. But one day, out of curiosity, she checked Melissa's account, where she found a photo in which Samantha was also there with Melissa and Kate. Now, Danica got Kate's account, and she came to know about Samantha's plan. Samantha is trying to become Danica. Now, Samantha has already stolen a lot from her, but identity theft is a crime, right? So she sends a message to Melissa the same day and tells her the whole truth. Along with that, Samantha is not a normal person. She is ill. She has a disease called schizophrenia. On top of that, she is not even taking her medicine, so one should be careful of her. Now, if this message had been sent, Melissa would have been left speechless. Naturally, she calls Ivan immediately to tell him everything, but he doesn't receive the call, so Melissa quickly wraps up her work so that she can go to his house and tell him everything. But by then, it's too late. Samantha starts laying her trap, in which Ivan gets trapped first. That day, Samantha goes to his house to give an explanation of that night. In return, Ivan promises her that he will not tell anyone anything, but on one condition, that he will have to confess everything to Kate himself. Now, Samantha had no plan to do something like this, so she does what she had planned to do to destroy the evidence completely. She takes Ivan to the staircase staircase in the course of conversation and pushes him down, and the poor guy dies there. Then, what else? Samantha picks up his phone and leaves from there, but she did not know that Melissa also has that video, which she has already sent to Joseph. Samantha gets a hint of this when she comes home and sees that Joseph is sitting with his laptop. On asking, he tells her that he is checking some video of Melissa and what can be in it. Samantha guesses it and also makes a plan immediately at how Joseph will get rid of that video by watching it. She does not do much to stop Joseph. She simply follows the plan of the van. But of course, she did not want to kill Joseph, so she cleverly sends him near the TV, and as soon as he starts falling, Samantha puts her foot forward and knocks him down. But when Joseph regains consciousness, she pretends as if he hit the table. Samantha takes him to the hospital and informs Kate, and during this time, when she turns on her laptop, she sees the conversation between Danica and Melissa there. She understands that the situation has gone out of hand. The secret is going to be revealed anytime. On the other hand, seeing Joseph in such a condition, Kate also cancels her plan to go to the farmhouse, but Samantha had to go. So, she convinces Kate by making an excuse that Joseph will get rest, and the same evening, she leaves for the farmhouse. At night, when they reach there, at the same time, Melissa finds Ivan's dead body, but she becomes so aggressive and starts shouting so much that the police have to arrest her. But even then, Melissa does not keep quiet, because now she was getting tensed about Kate. She did not know what that mad girl would do with her. Due to poor network there, she was not able to tell her. In such a situation, she takes the help of an officer and tells him everything about Samantha, in detail about her illness, about her fake identity. Along with that, she feels that Ivan's death was not an accident, as Samantha must be behind it. Now, the officer was not going to believe it just like that, so he checked Samantha's name in the records, and he found all the cases against her to be false. She is forced to follow Samantha. Meanwhile, Kate had to go out for some time to the farmhouse, so she leaves, trusting Joseph to be her friend. As soon as she leaves, that officer reaches there. Samantha does not react at all. She talks normally after seeing it, but as soon as that officer asks her to show her ID, Samantha attacks him by deceit, that too with her. The call has to be made by the real Danica, her real daughter. She introduces Kate to Samantha's reality and also introduces herself. Actually, when she shared about Samantha's deeds with Mrs. Hanson, she had given Kate the identification to call her. Now, even though Kate was not able to believe her words initially, but slowly, when she started connecting all the dots, she got her answer herself. Now, she realized that yes, she too had doubted Samantha's behavior many times. Now, along with this realization, another emotion started arising in her mind, fear for Joseph. So, without wasting any more time, she reached the farmhouse at that very moment, where, before entering, she sees the dead body of the police officer. Thankfully, Joseph was safe and sound. So, she brings him back home the same day and then contacts him at Safe Harbor. And this time, she talks to the real Mrs. Hudson, who promises to introduce her to the real Danica. But the troubles in Kate's life do not seem to end. The day she goes to pick up Danica, Sam attacks her. She was very frustrated and angry. She felt that Danica was snatching away her luck, her family, her mother, everything from her. If she is not there, Kate will have to accept her. That is why she tries to kill Danica. She catches hold of Ja by the throat. Mrs. Hudson called the police, but in such a situation, she was also very confused. Samantha was not a normal girl, and no one could predict her next step. In such a situation, Kate acts very smartly. She tells Samantha that whatever happens, she will always be her daughter, and no one can take her place. Samantha exactly wanted to hear this from Kate. She also becomes very emotional and says, as Samantha falls into his trap, the police come from behind and catch, and the real Danica is saved. Finally, after the situation becomes normal, Kate is able to meet her daughter, her real daughter. She had been waiting for this day for so many years. This scene gets cut here, and we reach the next scene. 6 months later, we see that, finally, happiness has started to prevail in Kate's life. She already had a daughter. She is going to become a mother for the second time, that too naturally. Along with that, her second baby, her restaurant, is also going well. Overall, she is progressing in both her personal and professional life. Finally, everything is going positive. Along with her, Danica has also mingled very well with her new family. She was very grateful for that. Maybe that is why it is said that there is delay in God's house, but there is no injustice. But at the same time, we see Samantha. Her treatment is going on in the psychiatric ward, but she is not showing any improvement. She still considers herself to be Dani. Don't know when she will be able to to accept her reality. Poor girl, she is also a victim somewhere. That's it, friends. This story ends here. I hope you liked the story. Do share your thoughts in the comments section. That's all for today, friends. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you soon with some other new video. Until then, take care.